With the ongoing investigation into Nigeria's House of Representatives uncovering shocking cases of job racketeering in the nation's public service, many Nigerians say they want those found complicit to face the long arm of the law. News Centre's Marvelous Obomanu visited the streets of Abuja and tells us what residents think about this worrisome issue.
Section 14, subsection 3 of Nigeria's constitution states, and I quote, "The composition of the government of the Federation or any of its agencies and the conduct of its affairs shall be carried out in such a manner as to reflect the federal character of Nigeria and the need to promote national unity." End of quote. Also, Section 4 of the Federal Character Commission Act gives the Commission the power to work out an equitable formula for the distribution of all cadres of posts in the civil and the public services of the Federation. While the House of Representatives investigating these allegations continue to uncover flagrant abuses by government officials, lawmakers have pledged to put an end to official impunity.
Banks have even analyzed transactions between Kolo, how he got some monies in his account, an individual that sent such money to him, as well as if there is any further transaction from Kolo's account to any commissioner's relative or commissioner's account himself. Please don't take this investigation for granted. A lot of head, I swear, will roll.
It is not good when the government that's supposed to employ the youth or the graduates are the same people selling the employment opportunity. So for me, I think it's a very bad one. It's a very bad one. You can't say you are fighting corruption when we are selling jobs to the citizen of Nigeria.
In Nigeria today, the problem we are having, that it's like, it sounds as if the corruption is buried in Nigeria. Because there are qualified people that are supposed to have job. There are some areas who went to look for a job. They say you do not have qualification. But when you have the qualification, you cannot have, because you do not have enough money to buy the position, or you don't have a godfather or a godmother of a team. So it is not advised can encourage the country.
This is a country where we discover ourselves, and it's not right in that way. Even though if I don't have the privilege to have that certificate, what about the ones where suffer? Their mama suffer, sponsor them to school. End of the day, there's no job. So what do you expect those people to feel? They will feel disappointment, and it's not right in that way.
Many Nigerians will be hoping that the National Assembly will match its word with action and end all cases of job racketeering in Nigeria, which has just been uncovered. Many will be hoping that all those found complicit will face the long arm of the law. Marvelous Obomanu reporting for News Central.
Author and sociopolitical analyst Paul Sawa joins me now to discuss more on this. Thank you very much for giving us your time. You must have followed the unfolding drama at the House of Representatives probe into job racketeering. A quick takeaway from all these, some would say, is that government may be the problem, but the bigger problem is that everyone at any time seems to be looking for how to take advantage of the next person. Do you agree with this?
You know, it's alarming when you see job racketeering at the level that we see it happening, and as was revealed. I can assure you, every Nigerian is already aware. We hear of all these rackets. You know, a couple of years ago, we heard about the scandal in the NSCDC. You know, and there has been, I mean, even the National Bureau of Statistics has made it quite, evident. We're looking at about 32% at one point, as at 2019. 32% of jobs to believed to have gotten under, questionable, with a bribe or questionable circumstances, racketeered one way or the other. When you hear of racketeering, the first thing you want to think of is organized crime. Everywhere else in the world, when you hear of racketeering, job racketeering, you're thinking of organized crime, where the job unions are involved, where it involves pension and all sorts of things. It's deeply distressing that here in Nigeria, you find that many times it is the very officers that should be working against this that are themselves very complicit. And, it's disturbing because this totally compromises the integrity of the very service, and with an inefficient, yeah?
Yeah, I was going to say it is worrisome, but it is not new. The only thing that a lot of persons are also saying is that it seems those behind it have become more emboldened. Would it be right to say that such acts continue because people are hardly made to pay for their wrongdoings even when they are found guilty?
No doubt about it, my sister. When there is no sanction for bad behavior, there's this adage that says laws are useless when men are pure, and laws are unenforceable when men are corrupt. And that is this Nigerian situation. Because of the depth of corruption, you find it seems difficult to even enforce laws. We are hoping with the expose, at the House of Representatives, something, ought to be done. The complicity, if you check even in the report, it cuts across. You have constituents putting pressure on their legislators, either the House of Reps or Senate, putting pressure on them to use their influence, to use their office, to put them in positions, to get them jobs. So it's a question where you begin to ask: is it the chicken before the egg, or the egg before the chicken? Cause and effect. And you realize that there is a very fundamental problem that we as a people need to deal with. The lack of, like you very rightly pointed out, the lack of sanctioning of erring officials emboldens them. You get away with it. You simply get away with it because you know that there's someone up there who is tied into the entire mix, and for that reason, you're almost certain that they will get you out. I expect. Yeah?
Let's veer a little off and look at how the performance of the judiciary can help or frustrate efforts at cleaning up the society in this case. A quick example is how the suspended resident electoral commissioner in Adamawa State, Hudu Yunusa Ayari, used the court to stop his trial for alleged misconduct during the governorship election in that state. What are your thoughts on how the judiciary can become that arbiter without blemish?
My sister, the judiciary has been on trial for quite a while in Nigeria. The average Joe and the average Jane, the average Hassan and the average Husseina have lost faith in the judiciary, and it's a very disturbing situation because when the people lose hope, the judiciary is supposed to be the hope of the common man, and it's a very, very precarious situation for people to allow themselves to get to that stage where hope is lost. I go back to that statement where I declared laws are useless when men are pure. They don't need them. But they are unenforceable when men are corrupt. And what makes it worse is when you have what is considered a corrupt justice system, an inefficient. Corruption comes in 1,001 ways.
Something definitely has to be done. Mr. Paul Sawa, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for speaking with us.